chances of this actually working on the first try. I think it's working. Oh, no. Oh, you freaking heifer. Okay, I think we're good now. Yeah, we're good now. Just took a second. Maybe. Okay, I think we're good now. Yeah, we're good now. Roof camera working? We'll reboot that, don't worry. Hello, everybody. I think roof camera just came back online. Sure did. Stopped up. I'll have to manually reboot it. But we're out here in the Texas Panhandle today, and I'll explain a little bit more here in a minute or two. We'll let some people join in. So we just skipped the start screen and went straight to the stream. Let's see if this come back alive. Yeah, but it's all jittery. I gotta get up there and reboot it. So this thing's powered 24/7, and it just needs a power cycle every few days. Even when the car's off, it's powered, it's running. So let it be choppy for a second, it might sort itself out. But we got some crappy little storms up here, nothing crazy. Obviously, you can take a look at Radar Omega if you want to see what we're dealing with here near Amarillo. I'm headed toward Claude. We're going east, I guess. Just south of I-40. This is a farm road that parallels I-40. And I'm not expecting a lot today, but I think it might be a decent day. Probably like a, hold on a second. Oh, it's this making noise. Okay. But there is a chance of some landspouts today, which we'll talk about those here in a minute. Tomorrow, there's not a lot happening, but Wednesday, there's a marginal risk, and then some of the AI models, which they're not really AI, they're just like computer models, but some of the other weather models that aren't really mainstream, they're not really anything that we use for operational meteorology. They're kind of more experimental than anything. But some of those are showing that Saturday, Sunday, Monday might actually be quite busy. Eastern Colorado, Western Kansas. So I think we're actually about to get into kind of a busy period here. But look at that. Decent structure on this little storm. In fact, I think I'm going to stop and try to get a picture of this real quick. This is a little storm on the, just off to our northeast here, if you look at the Amarillo radar site. Yeah, I need to stop and get a quick picture of this, because I can't believe how decent that looks. I am utterly impressed by this. So, potential for some landspouts today, and again, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Let me just jump out for a second. It's Wednesday, okay. Is it? I don't know, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, I don't know. I can't keep them straight. Decent structure on this. Not terrible. Not terrible, people. I can probably work with this. I'm walking in front of that car. He's slowing down. I'm not going to sit and wait. I'm going to post this on Facebook real quick. I don't disclose what we use for hardware on the roof because I've put a lot of work into it, and honestly, between all the parts that I've had to use and throw away, I'm probably over $10,000 into that. So unfortunately, I just don't put it out there because I worked really hard and spent a lot of money to get that, and it's something that I had to build myself, and I just don't put it out there. That's all. It's built for me and by me, and it's mine, kind of. All right, let me get this on Facebook and Twitter real quick. Decent structure on that. Landspouts form differently than tornadoes. A landspout's a tornado that basically isn't really attached to the rotating updraft, if that makes sense. They're typically weaker. They could be strong, but they are tornadoes. They're just much... it's like a tornado from Wish, if that makes sense. We could see landspouts today, not to be confused with like Dust Devil or anything. But we could see landspouts today. There's a pretty good shot at some landspouts, actually. We've got this like MCV, mesoscale convective vortex, which is basically just this like remnant low pressure from yesterday that's swirling around. And that could end up giving us a little bit of extra low-level spin here for these storms. But with landspouts and stuff, you're not going to necessarily have a large rotating wall cloud. Hold on a second, why am I being rude? All right. Oh, not me, somebody else. Oh, okay. I was going to say, wait a minute. I was going to say, Jesus Christ, but all right, you're talking to somebody else, that's fine. But you're not going to necessarily see those like precursors to a tornado that you typically would see with a tornado. Landspouts typically kind of form more so from the byproducts of the actual storm, if that makes sense. We're not really talking about something formed by the updraft. Beautiful little storm, though. I'll take it. I'll take it. You know, for kind of a half-assed day, I'll take it. They did place a 2% risk for tornadoes here, and I believe that's mainly for the landspout risk. But remember, for landspouts, you typically need some sort of surface boundary, like gust front, which can be an outflow boundary. You need to get some sort of like artificial spinning almost that's not from the updraft. You don't have to have a supercell, which, supercell is just a rotating thunderstorm. You don't have to have a storm that's actually rotating on radar to get a landspout, but you can. I mean, plenty of landspouts do show up under a rotating storm. This thing appears to be forming an inflow band. What the frick? You guys see this right here? It's forming a little inflow tail. It's trying to form a little wall cloud right here. Interesting. This is the environment that we have today, where it's like we have a lot of the ingredients that we would need kinematically, meaning when it comes to the wind fields and such and wind profiles for like a tornado or something. Thermodynamics, which are like temperature, dew point, humidity, buoyancy, don't really have that. So what happens is when you get a little storm like this that kind of sucks balls, it'll still take on some supercell characteristics like this. Sometimes you can squeeze out a tornado, but you'll end up with these pretty little storms where everything is just like on a smaller scale. Pretty cool. Oh, you know what? This. You see the dust? We've got outflow from another storm to our south coming in. We could have a landspout potential with this one. If you look at Radar Omega, you'll see what I'm talking about. I can't show you right now, so you'll just have to use the actual app. But if you look at Radar Omega, you'll notice there's a storm forming to our south. And if you remember just a minute ago, I told you guys that we usually need some sort of like a surface boundary or something going on at the surface for a landspout to happen. Well, an outflow boundary, well, look at that. That's your gust front from that south storm. And it's about to get wrapped up in the inflow of this one that we're on right now. So I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I wonder if we could get a shot at it here. Interesting. Very interesting. Wouldn't that be something? Best place for landspouts is probably going to be up by Pampa, so we might want to go into Claude, keep going east, and then go through Groom and shoot north, because we want to be kind of a little bit north of I-40 in that front right quadrant, which is like, if you imagine it as a clock, the 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock area is where we want to be. That's gonna feel the most influence of this little low pressure center. We've got some decent storm structure here, though. Well, you know, I'd say we are already ahead of yesterday. Like, we're already doing better than we did yesterday, so this just proves my point that, you know, some days it's these kind of low risk nothing days that end up being better than anything else. This proves it right here. have to go through Claude. We're just going to keep going east. We'll eventually go north through Groom. Because there's more than one little storm here. I don't think the flooding risk is very high today, because these storms are just not putting down a lot of rain. So I think we'll escape that today. That's not bad looking. Actually, we could shoot north here. Nah, it doesn't. It wouldn't. It would be the same difference if we just keep going east, because it's just that frontage road. There's no due north option, or not one that I want anyway. So I'm already more pleased with today than I was yesterday. That's for sure. But I do like days like this. Okay, I gotta go left and then right. Or just do what that guy did. All right, now we can go right. Yeah, thanks for joining today. I think it's going to be a decent day. It's already better than yesterday. Doesn't take much, though. We'll take Farm Road 1115 that goes east. freaking Jesus over there doing. God, you didn't see that? There's a guy dressed in a robe with like a cross around his neck. He literally looks like Jesus. I imagine that's probably what Jesus looks like, and he's hitchhiking. I'm going to hell now. I didn't pick up Jesus. Great. Probably get canceled for that too. You didn't pick up Jesus. Yeah, this thing's decent looking. We'll probably not stick with this one. We'll probably need to get north. So I'm going to get north at our next north option. Because I think the bigger and better are going to be a little bit off to the north. But I appreciate everyone spending the afternoon here. It looked like it was going to be dead for a few days, but I have renewed hope. I don't think there's going to be anything tomorrow, which means that we're going to do the final smoke test on the app so that our app will be ready for launch next week, and get some other things finished up. I might do the brakes on this car. They're not bad, but the rear rotors are starting to warp a little bit. So you get a little bit of a pulsing, and I might just do them because it's easy to do them in the parking lot. So I might do brakes on this. We'll see how I feel, because I'm not sure when I'll get home. But I mean, I'd prefer to do them in my garage, but whatever. Out here is fine. Not a big deal. Wouldn't be the first time. Won't be the last. So I'll get caught up on a few things tomorrow. It looks like on Friday, day 3, there's a marginal risk. Includes like Roswell up to Clovis, Littlefield, Levelland, west of Lubbock. It looks like a really halfway decent day. So that's going to be a fun one. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday look like they're going to be busy. We're looking at a busier weather pattern Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we have things coming. We'll be coming up on that north road here in about a mile. Okay, it's more like 4 miles, but now we'll go north toward these things. These MCV storms, they move pretty quick. Wouldn't really expect hail with these types of storms. More so would expect strong downdraft winds. Those of you folks that live in Iowa, Illinois, sometimes even southern Wisconsin, you guys are familiar with these MCVs. You get lots of them. It's basically just the remnant low pressure that ejects off of the storm system. So these are from yesterday's storm system. They're ejecting, and it's like a little spiral of storms that moves. And you could get an enhanced tornado potential if you look down at the map, you know, with 12 o'clock being north. Basically between like 12 and 4 o'clock is where you get your enhanced tornado potential, because that low pressure, the way it's dragging those storms, helps the storm spin a little bit. So I don't really expect a whole lot of tornado potential today, but we could get a landspout or two. But I think we'll end up with kind of a decent looking storm. So we've already had a decent looking, you know, this thing's already decent looking. Got here just in time, too. I was in Lubbock last night. I think most of you guys know that. So we'll probably start heading up toward Pampa. Almost to our north turn, about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, I think. These are my favorite types of days, honestly. They don't look like much on radar, but they don't have to. They look good in person. Decent little precip core in there too. Alright, I think this is our turn. Yep, it is.
Stop sign. Turn left onto Ranch Road 294.
Yeah, this is just a little marginal risk of severe weather, nothing special. Anyway, yeah, we'll be to Pampa in about 20-ish minutes. See, if I would have known today was going to be like this, we never would have went to Mexico yesterday. I like that storm that's north of Pampa. It's got a special weather statement on it. Of course, that's up there and we're down here, but that's what I was talking about, how it's kind of, that's between that 12 and 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock position. As these storms get drawn up and around this low pressure MCV thing, like that one is, they'll probably start to spin a little more. They have to kind of work their way up and around. We're gonna have to drive through these showers. The goal is basically to just get north and east. So we're gonna get rained out a little bit for a minute or two here. We're about to go up and over I-40 here too. Oops, wrong way, hang on. Yeah, so today, I doubt we see one because we rarely do, but if we're lucky enough to see a landspout, there's really not a lot that radar is going to tell us ahead of time. And honestly, there's not a lot the storm's going to tell us ahead of time. It's just, you kind of have to just be there, so. That's why we're moving north and east, because it keeps us right in the middle here of any potential landspouts.
Take your next right. Signs for I-40 East.
It actually wants me to get on I-40, and I'm okay with that. Because we can make up, we need to get a little bit east, and we go about 7 miles east, and then there's a north option, and that puts us right in that most favorable quadrant of the low pressure system here for landspouts.
Signs for I-40 East.
Hold on, we're coming in really hot. I didn't realize it was right there. So this will put us in the most favorable spot for there to be a landspout.
At the next stop sign, turn right. Turn right onto I-40 frontage road. Then you'll take the I-40 East ramp on the left.
Jesus, this road, man. Throw some gravel in the pothole or something. Anything.
Take the I-40 East ramp on the left. Then merge onto I-40 East. Continue on I-40 East for 11 miles.
Alright, so in about 10 to 11-ish miles, we get our north option, which is what we want. Wish we were up on that one that's north of Pampa, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see a whole lot of excitement happening today, but I think we can at least get on a good looking storm for a little while. We just got to get through this rain. A couple of miles, we get to go north. That's what we need to do. That'll make it easy to get up there. 6 miles. Leaning water tower of disappointment over there. Not a terrible shot. You gotta watch these black Suburbans with California plates, because they're a bunch of rentals from folks that come over from overseas, and I've been caught up with them a few times here. There's some from Germany that are super, super nice, but there's a couple, that group from France is here again. I don't know if you guys remember last year, but they followed me around everywhere I went. I made like 10 U-turns. I honestly needed to go take a piss in the bushes. Yeah, them. I honestly needed to go take a piss in the bushes, and I couldn't even do that because they were literally up my ass the whole day. And I eventually, at a gas station, they pulled up next to me, and I was like, what is your problem? And they pretended to not speak English, but then they got in our live stream and started speaking English just fine and telling me what a rude piece of shit I was. It's like you have followed me around every single turn and every single stop that I have made all day. You are freaking me out. This is really strange. What are you doing? And it turns out it was these French storm chasers, but you got to kind of watch them. This silver one behind me is a rental too of one of them. They will follow you, but what they'll do is they'll park so close to you when you pull over on the side of the road that if they get rear-ended, they're going to go straight into your car. They don't know what they're doing, and they're just following around other chasers that they think know what they're doing. And it's really, really dangerous because, you can be out here and anybody can learn how to do this, but you have to learn how to do it. You can't just come out here and start following somebody. That's a great way to get in trouble, and get hurt. So I'm trying to slow down and force these folks to pass. There we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. That's right. Keep going. Because I've already had a couple of run-ins with them this year. Like, they just come right up on your bumper, and it's really dangerous. Like, they were so close on my bumper the one day that I couldn't even get my back hatch open. Like, I couldn't get between the cars. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I honestly thought it was somebody trying to, like, insurance scam me or something. So, you gotta, every year, it's usually it's that French group. They're filming some stupid documentary. This is their second or third year doing it. No, this is their third year of doing it, but I've yet to see the documentary come out. But 2 years ago, you guys might remember, they had rentals, but they were all Subarus for some reason. And the guy pulls up to me, the Hawley tornado, and he's like asking me what's going on, and he's like filming me, and I was like, who are you? Which, don't get me wrong, you can film in public, you can film whatever you want to film. I'm not saying that I had a problem with him having his camera out, but like, he was like trying to get me to have a reaction for his camera, and I was just like, who are you? Oh, I'm from France, we do filmmaking. And I'm like, cool. Do you know how to I'm like, I was like, do you know what you're doing? And he's like, no, we've been following you. And I was like, cool, don't do that, get out of here, like, go away, like, you're freaking me out, man. Like, you're gonna get killed. Like, there is a tornado coming, you don't know what you're doing. The tornado's a quarter mile away coming at us, and you're sticking a camera in my face. You don't even know who I am. You don't even know if I know what I'm doing, but you're following me. What if I don't know what I'm doing and I'm about to lead you into death? You know what I'm saying? Like, bad idea. Bad idea. So you gotta watch out for them, those rental cars. They always have California plates for some reason when they do them. They always rent from out in California. So you just, nothing against French people. It's just those French people. Like, they make me nervous.
Take exit 121, then merge onto I-40 frontage road.
It's also kind of weird when you just like walk up to somebody to like get a reaction out of them on camera. Like, film all you want, that's fine. But like, if you want that for your documentary, why don't you pay somebody that's a storm chaser to like be the guy you interview or something? I don't know. It's freaking weird, man, I tell you. These TV people are weird. Really weird.
At the next stop sign, turn left. At the stop sign, turn left.
Shit, guys, I wonder if we actually should just be going east. Uh-oh. Did I mess up?
Do you really want...
Probably. I don't know. Just pick a direction. I don't even think it matters at this point. These things are moving fast. They all are kind of cruddy. Just pick one. Decent little spinny lowering looking thing over there forming, but it looks kind of outflowy. But Remember, the normal rules for a landspout are not like a tornado. We don't, we can have outflow dominant storms with a landspout. We're close enough to the radar that if that looks like it's about to produce a landspout, we might actually start seeing rotation on radar. It's scanning low enough, but I don't think that one's gonna. Just have to keep an eye over there, I guess. Definitely an outflow looking feature there, right by the antenna. I could see another storm off to our northeast as well. You can see it on Radar Omega up there by LaJours, but I can see it. The camera's not going to show it very well. Once we get about a mile or two up the road, it might. Get a little bit of rain down here for a second. I'm gonna spin you guys back the other way so you can take a look at that other storm off to our northeast. It'll get easier to see as we move north. Center of the frame there, you can kind of see the storm base. I say storm very loosely, it's more like a shower. Tell you what though, I think the rain is quite welcome out here, especially after those fires. Pretty dry. A lot of areas getting decent rain here too. really thinking that storm off to our east there, guys, might be the target. I wonder if we're going to end up with a really good day here. So we've got some supercell, very small supercell type characteristics going on. In this type of environment, sometimes you can pull something off with that. Whether it's just a really pretty storm or weak tornado or landspout or something. Once we get out of this rain in a few minutes, it'll be a little bit better view for you guys. Kind of leaning toward going up to Pampa and then just shooting east. Got to be a little aggressive with these. They're moving pretty quick. Hard to see it on camera, but you can make out a little bit of that structure over there, kind of. It's better in person. That thing's real. Oh. Hold on. Sorry. Jesus Christ. There we go. Decent, kind of like quasi supercell structure.
Southeast at 13. 6 foot wind 11 miles an hour. 24-hour precipitation 1.91. 64 at Panhandle. Wind southeast at 5. With precipitation 24-hour precipitation.
Low
500.
storm bases today, that's for sure.
69. Wind west at 8. 24-hour precipitation 3/10. 69 at Tex West.
do like this little storm off to the east. We're okay going north and then east instead of east and then north because eventually it's going to get pulled northeast by the MCV.
24-hour precipitation 7/10. And sun rating 68. Wind southeast at 6.
Man, these cloud bases are low.
24-hour precipitation 93 hundredths. Wondering about rainfall? Here are notable Minnesota rainfall accumulations in the past 24 hours.
This is just off to our west.
Orla 20 west, 1.87 inches. Kenmount, 1.91. Comfort, 1.65. McGregor, 1.54. Goodland, 1.45. Here is the 7-day forecast for border and surrounding areas. Tonight, mostly cloudy. A chance of showers and
That's a
thunderstorms.
legitimate supercell shape to it.
Chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the mid-50s. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 20%. Thursday, partly cloudy. Highs in the mid-80s. North winds around 5 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the evening, and mostly cloudy after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 20%. Friday, partly cloudy. A chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts up to 25 miles per hour.
Probably start getting a visual on the one just north of Pampa here in a minute.
Friday night, partly cloudy.
Let me spin you back around
Showers and thunderstorms in the evening.
because look at how low this cloud base is here on this little storm that's forming right in front of us.
15 miles per hour with
Right, oops, right there.
25 miles per
Right in the
hour.
middle.
Chance of rain 20%. Saturday to Saturday night, mostly clear. Highs in the lower 90s. Lows in the upper 50s. Sunday and Sunday night, clear. Highs in the mid-90s. Lows around 50. Alright, so we're coming into Pampa. Ooh, look at all the old trucks over there. Okay, cool. Anyways, so we're coming into Pampa. And we're going to stop here and just do a bathroom break, and we'll kind of reassess the situation.
Board sounds good. I am going to get my antenna reconnected to our internet deal and unscrew itself in the base. It's going to take a minute.
Okay, yeah, all good. We're not in a rush. Lows in the upper 50s. Chance of rain 40%. Wednesday, most showers in the morning, then a chance of showers and a slight chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of rain 40%. Now here is the hazardous weather outlook for the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. Day 1, this afternoon and tonight. Low chance for strong
Alright,
to severe
welcome to Pampa.
thunderstorms this afternoon with large hail being the main threat. Isolated landspouts can be ruled out with showers across the central panhandles. Heavy rainfall from thunderstorms has a low chance of causing localized flooding. And now the outlook for days 2 through 7, Thursday through Tuesday. Friday is showing signs favorable for stronger thunderstorms in the southern panhandles. There is the potential for rain, showers, and thunderstorms during the afternoon, Monday and Tuesday. Spotter information statement. Spotter activation is not anticipated at this time. The 3 p.m. area weather roundup.
Oh boy, not the weather roundup.
Temperature, State Park, 77 degrees.
Round them up, everybody.
Cloudy,
Jesus Christ.
75 degrees.
2006. Alright, we'll probably, we'll go straight east out of Pampa here. Interestingly, they dropped the special weather statement on that Pampa storm.
Sorry, we're having trouble finding a gas station here.
Dude, there's like 20 of them in this town. How could you possibly be having trouble finding a gas station?
Head towards South Love Street. In 300...
Keep my fingers crossed on this storm up north. That's the one you want.
Head northeast on West Brown Street.
So, I'll explain this in a second. So there's two groups, two storm chasing tours using this channel, right? They're both on different PL tones. So they only hear their own group. Extreme Tornado Tours, who I do not recommend. They're on here, and then Roger's group is on here, but we like Roger's group. I do not like the Extreme Tornadoes Tour group, and they talk shit about us over the radio. So they don't have GMRS licenses. I think Roger does, but the Extreme Tornado Tours folks don't. So technically they're not even supposed to use it, but it's not enforced. I have a GMRS license, so I can legally mess with them, and I do. Yesterday when we were on our way down to freaking Mexico or whatever, they were talking crap about some storm chaser on the road or whatever, and I just got on there and I was like, what is wrong with you, you miserable people, blah, 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 and I just kind of let them have it. And they had no idea who it was. And we just turned in front of them back there, so I was totally waiting for them to make a comment. Because one of the guys driving one of the vans is one of the guys on Twitter that says he's going to kick my face into the dirt and beat the shit out of me when he sees me. Which I'd like to see him try, because he's like about 5'4" and he's a little fat elf-looking little bitch. So, like he's a real hot shot, and they've been talking a lot of shit about us. So they don't know it's me that returns fire when they're talking crap on the radio. But the moral of the story is, what's funny is I'm the one that's legally talking shit, but they're the ones that technically aren't supposed to be on it. So they're, you know what, you see what I'm getting at here? Like, I don't know. They're behind us now. Yeah, we like Roger's group. Roger's a nice guy. They're all, he's got like Chris Gullickson and those guys driving for him. Like, that is a good tour company. I like them. But yeah, these other guys are kind of a shame. You got to be careful when you pick a storm chasing tour. There's a lot of storm chasing tour groups out here that are literally just nobodies that have rented a minivan from Enterprise, and they're driving people around and making $3,000 a seat for a tour. I've seen a lot of it happening over the past few years. There's a lot of people doing storm tours that don't have experience doing it. So if you're going to go book a storm tour, you make sure you're booking one that's like a good one, that's been around for a while. But yeah, this guy on Twitter, I'm like, you're driving, they're letting you drive a tour group around and you're talking about kicking somebody's face in and stuff. Like, what the hell? Like, that's not safe to have that guy in charge of a van of people. The reason he said that is because I retweeted a tweet that somebody he didn't like made.
Alright, we're gonna figure this out here.
That's why. I make noises at him sometimes too. It's pretty rowdy on there. They're probably really gonna kick my face in.
No worries, man. No rush.
Storm tours are very safe. Very safe. I would recommend them to somebody. Oh no, Sean, I have to pay attention to them because it's too easy. It's too much fun not to. I mean, you're going to sit there and talk back and forth on a walkie-talkie and talk crap about us over the radio when I can legally talk on that walkie-talkie more than you can. Boom, you're going down, buddy. Like, you have now suscepted yourself to animal noises, weird noises, stupid questions, dumb comments.
We got a left turn coming up here in about a half a mile. That'll take us
A
back into
left
town
turn?
to a more populated area with some stuff here.
They're the same guys that I told.
Half mile.
I don't know if you guys remember. We were in the Walmart parking lot, and I jumped in Zach's truck, and they were like talking about going somewhere, and Zach said something like, "Well, all you're doing is following Reed around anyway." And they're like, oh, "This is interference. There's interference on the channel." And I was like, "Yeah, we're using this channel." And the guy's like, "Well, what channel are you not using?" And I said 69, 70, and 71. And he's like, "Okay, well, we'll go there then." Well, there is no 69, 70, and 71. There's only like 22 of them, which I thought was funny. like you're total, like, if you're gonna be a jerk, then it's all for it, man. Like, you're gonna, man, oh man, watch out, because you have now, like, you're gonna have to go and get.
All right, we'll just curve around town here a little bit. About 4.0 miles. We got a left.
You're gonna have to go and get different radios now that I don't have, because you have now married yourself to stupid comments, animal noises, me recording you and then playing it back over the front. I did that the other day. I recorded them for like 10 seconds on my phone, and then I played it back through the speaker. They're like, "What is going on here?" Don't be a jerk. That's what's going on here. I think it's funny. Little wall cloud over there to the east. So we're splitting the difference. We got the one to the north, the one to the southeast. I don't know which one's going to do it. But we can get to either one. Shit, left or right? God dang it. All right, straight. Call. Oh, God. Well, we can go east if we have to in a bit. That's got a big freaking wall cloud on it. Are you kidding me? There's apparently a Landspout down there by I-40. We were just there, oh, my God, no. No. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Come on, man. We were just there. Christ.
65 degrees.
No.
Cloudy.
What the fuck?
69 degrees. Once again.
God damn it.
Cloudy. The temperature 70 degrees.
Come on, man.
Here is the
So do we keep going northeast, or what do we do?
in surrounding areas. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Lows in the mid-50s.
Shoot.
South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Becoming east. Chance of rain 40%. Thursday, partly cloudy. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. Highs in the lower 80s.
Oh my God.
North winds around 5 miles per hour.
That was the storm we started on today with, too.
Thursday night.
Come
partly
on.
Cloudy.
Kidding me?
A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the evening.
Maybe we should keep going east and split the difference between the north and south storm.
Winds 5 to 10 miles per
Shit.
hour. Chance of rain 20%.
Oh my God. What are you? Oh Jesus, man.
A chance of showers.
Nah, let's just keep going, because it's like when we're trying to go get a water spout out of the middle of nowhere. You know, it's just, you gotta just commit to something. So we'll just keep going northeast for now, because it keeps us between these two. If we go south, then it only keeps us between one. So.
Then partly cloudy after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour.
We may actually need to drop south, though, because that one to our southeast is a little bit more stationary than I thought.
Lows around 60.
We actually might need to drop onto that one.
Mostly sunny. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon.
Bunch of dirt in the road. I don't know what that is, but I don't want to hit it.
Chance of rain 20%. Monday night, partly cloudy. A chance of showers and thunderstorms in the evening. And a slight chance of showers.
There originally was a special weather statement on our storm for a landspout, but it's not there anymore.
Chance of rain 40%. Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of rain 20%. Tuesday night and Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and a slight chance of thunderstorms. Lows in the upper 50s. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of rain 30%. Now here is the hazardous weather outlook for the Texas area.
Yeah, so we're just going to hit one of these gas stations up here, last bathroom break, and then we'll do a quick guide meeting, make sure we're on the same page, and then we'll do it now.
The Lady Landspouts can't be ruled out with a low chance of causing Thursday through Tuesday. Friday is showing signs favorable for stronger thunderstorms in the southern panhandles. There is the potential for rain, showers, and thunderstorms during
Kind of leaning toward dropping south, because it seems like those ones to the south are a little better.
not anticipated at this time. A strong thunderstorm in the north central John Lee County at 4:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 3:38 p.m. Central Daylight Time, the radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm capable of producing gale landspouts 6 miles east of Groom, or 19 miles north of Clarendon, moving east at 20 miles per hour. Hazard, landspouts and wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Source, radar indicated. Impact, minor damage to outdoor objects is possible.
Objects.
Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. Locations impacted include Lake McClellan. This includes Interstate 40 between mile markers 117 and 130. If outdoors, consider seeking shelter inside a building. The 3 p.m. area weather roundup. At Mary LaForce Field Airport in Tampa, cloudy. Temperature 70 degrees, dew point 62, and a relative humidity 75%. Wind southeast at 16 miles an hour, gusting to 25.
I think this storm might be reaching end of life here. We might want to drop south.
70 degrees. At Borger, cloudy. 66 degrees. Canadian, partly sunny. 75 degrees. Childress, mostly
Oh,
sunny.
come on, guy.
Temperature 78 degrees.
I don't want to go down that road. It's all mud.
Clawswell southwest. The temperature 67 degrees. Gallo Park, partly sunny. 67 degrees. Childress, cloudy. 64 degrees. Diamond, cloudy. 65 degrees. Wind south at 16 miles an hour, gusting to 24. Memphis, a temperature of 78 degrees. At the bottom of Howell Wilson State Park, 77 degrees. Harrison, cloudy. 75 degrees. East wind at 15 miles an hour, gusting to 24. In the surrounding areas, windy, partly sunny. 76 degrees. Level, mostly sunny. 77 degrees. Dallas, Fort Worth, partly sunny.
This road is all like washboarded. You gotta stay in the middle of it.
75
Rattles your car.
Elk City, cloudy. 76 degrees. Oklahoma City, cloudy. Temperature 75 degrees. Tucumcari, mostly sunny. 74 degrees. Albuquerque, mostly sunny. 76 degrees. Dodge City, light rain and fog. 65 degrees.
really liking this storm.
You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio WNT-71, the National Weather Service.
Really not.
Amarillo, Texas. This station operates on a
Almost might dump it.
2.50 megahertz. WNT-71 will broadcast 24 hours a day with regional weather conditions and public forecasts. Special statements, warnings, and short-term forecasts are also broadcast as conditions warn. During periods of severe weather, regular programming may be suspended in order to provide you with
Let's stop for a second.
this weather information. For comments on the weather radio, please call your national weather 806-335-1121 or visit our website.
See anything visually?
www.weather.gov/Amarillo.
So this is the storm that I was originally going after. This is the one that had the supposed landspout, but then there's this. This is the one that looked visually impressive here a little bit ago. I don't know which one to go after. I hate to stay with this one because I feel like it's kind of... See, this is like that favorable slice. Right in there. For like landspouts, the way that surface low is set up. So I don't know. It's kind of getting out of that favorable spot a little bit. That thing's moving slow enough that we could probably dump it and still make it back if we had to. And see, I just think that this one, because it's got all this rain now kind of in its little inflow region, is really going to struggle. We're gonna favor south. We gotta go back down 60 though. There was none of those were paved roads and they were all mud. Very mud. Very mud. Back toward Pampa a little bit. Yep. Dangerous U-turn. Put it on the counter. See, we can easily get to that north one again if we have to, but it's got so much rain right in its inflow region that I think it's going to have an issue here. So I kind of tend to favor the stuff to the southeast. That one that's like due south of us. It's kind of slowing down, almost like it's anchoring to something. I don't know if we get a little boundary there that we're not seeing or what. It's looking off to the west. Visual on a lowering over there to my east, but I don't think you'll be able to pick it up on camera. Just to the right of the antenna there, kind of center frame, there's a lowering. This guy is just right on my bumper here for some reason. That is irritating. This road takes us east. It is absolutely dumping rain under this little shower that just popped up. God dang. almost through this shower.
Yeah, right now, maximum 3-kilometer cape and surface vorticity is right in front of the storm to our left. Why don't we just get up there and just watch it for a minute, see if it can do anything.
And they just put a special weather statement for a landspout on the Miami storm, whatever it is. God, cripes. Well, we can get back up on that one. We just got to go left up here in like 5 miles. Well, I tell you what, if we change our mind and go to that one that they just put the special weather statement on, we can do it from this road. So, because there's a due north option up here. God damn it. I really didn't think that one was going to have much potential left. Guess I might be wrong on that.
Copy that, thank you for letting me know. I think we also want to keep an eye out of the storm to the east as we go south here, just to see if it looks interesting. Agreed, I see that as well.
Mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and a slight chance of thunderstorms.
Hey, Roger, where are you pulling that data from, the memo analysis page?
Yep.
Yeah, FBC memo analysis page. It's under multi-parameter fields. Like the fifth thing down there. It's actually, never mind, it's below the new bulks here. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, well, this is kind of going with the theme of the day, splitting the difference, so we can get either one of them. I'm really surprised because I kind of thought that one was dying out a little bit. Maybe something wrong. I wonder what made them issue the Landspout special weather statement now versus before. Because it looks worse than it does now, or now than it did before. So I wonder why they did that way. That's weird.
Or 19 miles north of Clarendon, moving east at 20 miles per hour. Hazard, landspouts and wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Source, radar indicated. Impact, minor damage to outdoor objects is possible. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. Locations impacted include Lake McClellan. This includes Interstate 40 between mile markers 117 and 130. If outdoors, consider seeking shelter inside a building. A strong thunderstorm will impact central Roberts County through 4:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 3:57 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm capable of producing a landspout 10 miles northwest of Codman or 13 miles west of Miami, moving east at 15 miles per hour. Hazard, landspouts and wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Source, radar indicated. Impact, minor damage to outdoor objects is possible. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. This storm will remain over mainly rural areas of central Roberts County.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if we should drop south.
Consider seeking shelter
Yeah, drop
inside a
south.
building.
Make me feel like I know what I'm doing.
The
Please,
current
somebody.
time is 4:02.
Everybody should go south because it'll make me feel like I know what I'm doing.
Including the following
Everybody to
counties
go
and
south.
suburbs. West,
That way I don't feel like an idiot.
Central Daylight Time. Impacts, minor flooding in low-lying and poor drainage areas. Dangerous flows over low water crossings. Water over roadways. Additional details. At 3:53 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Doppler radar indicated heavy rain due to thunderstorms. Minor flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly in the advisory area. Between 2 and 4 inches of rain have fallen. Additional rainfall amounts up to 2 inches are expected over the area. This additional rain will result in minor flooding. Some locations that will experience flooding include mainly rural areas of southwestern Roberts County. http://www.weather.gov/safety/flood turnaround. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Be aware of
I definitely don't hate this storm.
Near the Force Field Airport in Panhandle, cloudy.
And we'll be on this for about 11 miles.
Relative humidity 75%. Gusting to 25. The pressure 29.93 inches and falling. Elsewhere in the Panhandles, Amarillo, cloudy. 70 degrees. At Borger, cloudy. 66 degrees. Canadian, partly sunny. 75 degrees. Childress, mostly sunny. Temperature 78 degrees. Claw 12 southwest, the temperature 67 degrees. Gallo Park, partly sunny. 67 degrees.
Alright, we've got this road itself starts curving to the south, so it'll start getting us closer to that storm here.
Diamond, cloudy.
I know it looks like we're not making any progress, but we are. It curves to the right.
16 miles an hour, gusting to 24. Memphis, a temperature of 78 degrees. At the bottom of Hallowed Duro Canyon State Park, 77 degrees. Perryton, cloudy. 75 degrees. East wind at 16 miles an hour, gusting to 24. In the surrounding areas, Plainview, partly sunny. 76 degrees. Lubbock, mostly sunny. 77 degrees. Dallas, Fort Worth, partly sunny. 81 degrees. Gage, cloudy. 75 degrees. Elk City, cloudy. 76 degrees.
Should be able to get a visual on that pretty soon.
Temperature 75 degrees. Tewksbury, mostly sunny. 74 degrees. Albuquerque, mostly sunny. 76 degrees. Dodge City, light rain and fog. 65 degrees. Denver, cloudy. 69 degrees.
These Landspouts, you can't really go off a radar too much.
The temperature 70 degrees.
More visual. These are interactions that happen
7-day forecast.
below the radar's beam most of the time.
Mostly cloudy with occasional showers.
Sometimes if you're close enough to a radar site,
Lows in the
you'll be able to see them, but usually not.
South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Coming east. Chance of rain 20%. Thursday, partly cloudy. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. Highs in the lower 80s. North winds around 5 miles per hour. Chance of rain 20%. Thursday night, partly cloudy. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms.
But yeah, this is why I wanted to get out of where we were yesterday, because I mean you witnessed it, we barely made it in time. So I'm glad I got up to Lubbock last night. Any farther of a drive, we probably would have had to write it off, because these are fast movers. These MCV type storms are always quick movers.
Friday night, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Saturday, mostly sunny. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs around 90. Chance of rain 20%. Saturday night through Sunday
Probably drop south right now. I was gonna go over toward Mobeetie and then south, but we'll go south now. It's moving slow enough that even if we if this storm crosses the road before we get to it, it's not the end of the world. We can just come back up around from the south. I just don't think we want a chance being late on this one.
Thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. Chance of rain 40%. Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of rain 20%. Tuesday night and Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and a slight chance of thunderstorms. Lows in the upper 50s. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of rain 30%. Now here is the hazardous weather outlook for the Texas and Oklahoma Panhandles. Day 1, this afternoon and tonight. Low chance for strong to severe thunderstorms this afternoon. Large hail being made flat. Isolated landspouts can influence with showers across the central Panhandles. Heavy rainfall of thunderstorms has a low chance of causing localized flooding. And now the outlook for days 2 through 7, Thursday through Tuesday. Friday is showing signs of full or stronger thunderstorms in the southern Panhandles. There is the potential for rain showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon Monday and Tuesday. Spotter information statement. Spotter activation is not anticipated at this time. A strong thunderstorm will affect southwestern Gray and north central Yonge counties through 4:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 3:38 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm capable of producing a landspout 6 miles east of Broome, or 19 miles north of Clarendon, moving east at 20 miles per hour. Hazard, landspouts and wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Source, radar indicated. Impact, minor damage to outdoor objects is possible. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. Locations impacted include Lake McClellan. This includes Interstate 40 between mile markers 117 and 130. If outdoors, consider seeking shelter inside a building. A strong thunderstorm will impact central Roberts County through 4:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 3:57 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm capable of producing a landspout 10 miles northwest of Codman or 13 miles west of Miami, moving east at 15
About
miles
to get
per
dumped
hour.
on for a minute.
Hazard, landspouts and wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Source, radar indicated. Impact, minor damage to outdoor objects is possible. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. This storm will remain over mainly rural areas of central Roberts County. If outdoors, consider seeking shelter inside a building. What? Flooding caused by excessive rainfall is expected.
There's a little bit of like a lowering sort of looking thing over there. Maybe we'll get lucky. I like this storm better because there's not a bunch of rain and it's inflow, so the air that it's drawing from the surface isn't cold. The one off to the north has a lot of cold, rainy air in its inflow. So I feel like this down here has got a little better shot. Yeah, right there. You guys see it? Okay. All right. We're in business. So we'll have to kind of drive through that. But there is an east road about 3 or 4 miles to our south, so we're probably going to lose visual on this as we drive through it because of the rain. But then we have a good east route. Yeah, we're in business here.
We passed our road back there. We're gonna need to turn around. 1 second here.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Copy. Stand by. Stand by. We're rerouting here.
Maybe a little bit of rotation in that, but there's definitely some like ascent. There's like clouds condensing and going up underneath of it. So fairly healthy looking for a little shower.
Slow down a little bit here.
Skill issue. Then we got the big one to the south too, if this don't work out.
Gonna do it right here. Wide.
Pretty firm, you're clear from behind.
Hold on, we just had a crazy sound here.
Yeah, there is rising motion under that.
Sorry, we just had a very strange sound underneath the van.
Skill issue. Yeah, this thing is spinning. Not like the way that you would expect a tornado to form, though. You know, you get that like focused area of rotation. This is more broad. It's more what you would expect from something like this.
We're going. Yeah, we ran over a piece of metal that made a very crazy sound underneath the van. You guys are clear?
Yep, it'll do that.
Hey Nick, hit your light bar for a sec. Thank you. We had a guest questioning what we were using.
Jesus Christ.
.4 miles until our left turn.
24.
Look at that, guys. It's right on top of us. Right above us. Stop for picture for a second. There's nobody behind me. I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, you're stopping in the middle of the road. Yeah, there's nobody behind me, like whatsoever. It's the middle of nowhere. You can see for 7.5 miles here. I mean, it is spinning. Not a lot, but it's spinning. You have to remove the forward motion component, though, when you look at it. almost to our east option. So remember, we got the big storm, the big one to our south yet. And that's in play too. Whoa, what the hell is that? Where did that come from? What the shit? That's interesting. Didn't look like that when I was under it. Let's maybe stop and pay attention to this for a sec.
Showers and thunderstorms. Tuesday night and Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and a slight chance of thunderstorms.
And then we're going to go back east on 40 and get ahead of this thing. That sounds like a plan to us.
The hazardous weather outlook for the Texas and Oklahoma Panhandles. Chance for strong to severe thunderstorms this afternoon with large hail being main threat. Isolated landspouts can't be ruled out with showers across the central Panhandles. Heavy rainfall from
That thing is
a low chance of causing local
actually spinning a decent amount. That's we need to pay attention to that because it's got a lot of spin and rising motion, and it's got this like RFD crap coming around.
from southwest. The temperature 70 degrees. Dallas Hart, mostly sunny. 70 degrees. Dumas, mostly sunny. 68 degrees. Guyman, rain and fog. 62 degrees. Memphis, a temperature of 80 degrees. At the bottom of Hallow-Duro Canyon State Park, 81 degrees. Harrington, cloudy. 70 degrees. In the surrounding areas, Plainview, partly sunny. 77 degrees. Mostly sunny. 79 degrees. Dallas,
That's really spinning.
partly sunny. 83 degrees. Gage, cloudy. 69 degrees. Elk City, partly sunny. 78 degrees. Oklahoma City, cloudy. Temperature 75 degrees. Tucumcari, partly sunny. 76 degrees. Albuquerque, mostly sunny. 78 degrees. Dodge City, light rain and fog. 64 degrees. Denver, cloudy. 63 degrees. Here are the latest Mesonet observations end at 4:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. These observations are updated approximately every 10 minutes.
Nobody behind us.
71 degrees at border. Wind calm. 24-hour precipitation 0.44 of an inch. Canadian 77. Wind south at 12 miles an hour. 24-hour precipitation 600.
Is there anything on radar? Not really.
Wind south-southeast at 12. 24-hour precipitation 3,200. 77 at Dozier. Wind south-southeast at 8. 24-hour precipitation 4,800. Fridge 70. Wind north at 4. 24-hour precipitation 5,800. Good night 68. Wind north-northeast at 6. 24-hour precipitation 3,300. 64 at Lake McClellan to northwest.
We're gonna stick with this for a hot minute.
Northwest at 8. With precipitation. Fog. 24-hour precipitation 1.14. Plain 73.
Wow, that's really spinning. It's spinning for sure.
Mile to 70. Wind southeast at 12. 24-hour precipitation 52. 55 at Tampa. Wind east-southeast at 13. 6-foot wind 11 miles an hour. With precipitation.
Power lines are buzzing.
Wind east at 9.
Yeah, there's a lot of motion in that thing, for sure.
Wind west-northwest at 11. 24-hour precipitation.
I don't think it's gonna do it though.
60 million at Stinnett. Wind east-southeast at 7. 24-hour precipitation 710.
Just don't think it's gonna do it.
Turning now to notable Mesonet
Close.
rainfall accumulations in the past
It's definitely
24 hours.
close.
Orla 20 west, 1.97 inches. Peppa, 1.93. Comfort, 1.65.
We're getting some inflow into it.
1.54.
Remember, we got that storm to the south too.
4.5. Here is the 7-day forecast for Tampa and surrounding areas. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Lows in the mid-50s. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming east. Chance of rain 40%. Thursday, partly cloudy. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. Highs in the lower 80s. North winds around 5 miles per hour. Chance of rain
You can really see the rotation in there. I'll zoom you in a second.
partly cloudy. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the evening. Lows in the upper 50s. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of
It's a little bit outflow dominant, I think. Just a little bit.
afternoon. Highs in the mid-80s.
If I hold you real still, you'll see it.
Winds 10 to 15 miles per hour.
Spinning in there.
Chance of rain 40%. Friday night, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the evening, then partly cloudy after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Saturday, mostly sunny. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon.
Oh.
Highs around 90. Chance of rain 20%.
Probably need to keep moving on it.
Sunday night, mostly clear.
It's just not quite gonna do it.
Highs in the lower 90s. Monday, mostly sunny. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs around 90. Chance of rain 20%. Monday night, partly cloudy. A chance of showers and thunderstorms in the evening. Then a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. Chance of rain 40%. Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a slight chance
One to the south looks pretty good.
of storms. Highs in the mid-80s.
That one's a little bit ragged.
20%.
Still pretty.
Tuesday night in
We can get to that one to the south pretty easily.
Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of rain 30%.
Tell you what, if it would do it right there, we'd have a hell of a view.
Weather outlook for the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. Day 1, this afternoon and tonight. Low chance for strong to
Let me see if I can get like a panorama shot out there without this looking like ass. Power lines are buzzing crazy though. Oh, one of those should be. Oh yeah, let's get out of the rain. God damn it. Ah. All right, time to move on. I don't want to get soaked.
So, here's a question for everybody in each van. If you could just give me a head count. Since we're probably going to be done storm chasing in about an hour, this stuff looks like crap. That's never going to do anything, unfortunately.
Roger's
Who's
had it.
interested in doing the big Texas?
I think Roger's had it.
Everybody in van 1. Staying in van 2. Excellent. We've got 8 in van 3. 8 in van 3 for Big Jackson. Thank you. Alright. Van 4 has 4 plus I'll go. Okay. Alright, I will call them when we start heading back and see if they can get something set up for us. So we got about 30 people all together.
That was looking really good for a minute, wasn't it? It might, I don't know guys, I don't want to say that it's done because shut up! These storms are not following the rules today, but man, what a pretty little storm though. Look at this, like with the rain back in there. The signal sucks out here, I know, but look at that guys. That's worth it, right? That's worth a damn. Pretty storm. We'll stop up here for a photo op on a hill. That's not bad, guys. This ain't bad for a crappy little rain shower. Shoot. Gotta get a little bit down the road though. I also appreciate some better signal. Up on top of this next hill. Look at that structure though. It's nice. Once we stop, the signal should get a little better. Get a little bit ahead of it so we get a second to actually take a picture. This is all right. I can deal with this. All right, we got to make this fast. Whip it out real quick here. All right, that's good enough. Oh, you pisser. Hold on, this might actually be a bad spot. Hang on. I got a hill though here. My pants are falling down too. God dang it. Oh, this is a shit spot. Stand by. I got a better spot. Before all these cars come. There's a road. Just go before all the cars. Somebody will take my spot. I see a spot. These power lines, these huge power lines, I don't like them. They ruin the shot. I got an option. If we punch it, there's a road that goes south, so we should be able to get just a smidge below the power lines. Is that my road? No way. No, it wasn't. Okay. Just want to make a turn just so that the power lines aren't front and center here. That's better. That's better. That's better. That's better. That's better. Yes, that's better. That's better. Where do I put the damn camera though? Ah, frick. There's nowhere to clip it. There's nowhere to clip it. I don't, shit. Oh my God. Give me a break, man. We're gonna have to use the car. Problem is the car shakes a little bit. I have to stand on top of the car here. No, I don't, because of the damn power line. Shit. Ah! These power lines are killing me, man. What a piss. Might not need panorama for this. That is a snake. That is a big snake. Hold on, this cactus is in my way. It's freaking too cold, too warm. We don't even need to do panorama on this, do we? I think I got it all in the wide angle. It'd be beneficial to do panorama on a cropped lens here though, hang on. This is good. I'm fairly certain there's a rattlesnake in here because I hear something rattling and it sounds like a rattlesnake, but I think it's way over there. It definitely sounds like it's getting closer though. So we got a little bit of spin going on in there, right in the middle, but it's just not going to be enough there for a tornado. So what happens if there's a rattlesnake? What does it bite you, or what's it do? Because that legit sounds like a rattlesnake over there, and it's way closer than it was a minute ago, but I can't get up from this spot. Because I need to stay in this spot because I'm going to stack these photos in a minute. Let me, hold on a second. I'm in a field and I hear a rattlesnake and it is closer than it was before. What is worst case scenario?
The worst case is that it bites you before you even spot it, injecting venom that can cause severe tissue damage, swelling, and potentially life-threatening complications if untreated.
Okay, well, I guess I'm going to die if it bites me. Not 100% sure, but it definitely sounds like one. Which means it probably sees me if it's making that noise, so that's great. I ain't scared of no frickin' snake. However, it's nice to know it'll bite if it's provoked. Well, I guess I just won't provoke it. I'm going to try to put the mic, I'm going to try to point the mic over that way and see if you guys can hear it if it does it again. It's not doing it no more. I mean, I don't see one. I'm not sitting on it. Yeah, should we start insulting the snake? I ain't scared of no frickin' snake. However, if there is a nest of ground bees, I don't know if you guys have ever encountered those, where it's bees that just rise up out of the ground. Yeah, those will make me move damn fast. So we got God, it just did it again. But he's got to be at least 50 feet away. There's a tree over there. I bet he's in the tree. Or she. We are where are we? Northeast of McLean, Texas. I'm gonna try to upload this short. I'm just waiting a second because I'm gonna stack. I want to take another photo in a minute, but I need to stay in the same spot so I can like stack it later. Here, hang on. Jeremy will probably post about that too. He's harming the snake. That thing is spinning. I know the camera's probably not really picking it up, but it's got rotation in it, barely. Yeah, the tarantulas don't bother me either. I think those are kind of cool. You see a lot of them in like September, August and September in the Panhandle region, the tarantula migration season. That's a good looking story. It's absolutely spinning in there. Just not enough to be a thing. Basically right in the middle there. Right where it's bulged out, it's spinning. I don't see anything on radar. me just pull up the stream quick and see how you guys are looking. Not bad. Just to the left of that antenna. Just to the left of that antenna. Sound connected still? Let me just pull. Yeah, okay, sound's still connected. I'll take it, guys. I'll take it. So nice and peaceful out here. Oh, except for this little like mosquito thing. That thing's pissing me off. Oh, you little bastard. Alright, I put the video clip on Facebook for you guys. Let me pull you guys back up and make sure. Alright, I put the... Yeah, you guys still got it in view. Yeah, I'll take this for the environment. I'll take it. You know, low expectations and low chances for anything today, and then you end up with this. I'll take it. I don't think we even have a special weather statement anymore. And time lapse just completed. Let me go hit the button on that to start that again. Because if I do it real quick, it won't look like there's a gap in it. Not a bad looking storm though. It's really not.
Here are notable meso net rainfall accumulations in the past 24 hours. Orla 20 West, 1.97 inches. Peppa, 1.93. Comfort, 1.65. Big Rigger, 1.54. Alma, 1.45. Here is the 7-day forecast.
Trying to see what makes sense to point you. Let me point you toward that.
Tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Lows in the mid-50s. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming east. Chance of rain 40%. Thursday, partly cloudy. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. Highs in the lower 80s. North winds around 5 miles per hour. Chance of rain 20%. Thursday night, partly cloudy. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the evening. Lows in the upper 50s. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 20%. Friday, mostly cloudy. A chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs in the mid-80s. South winds
It's about to dump rain.
miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Friday night, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the evening. Then partly cloudy after midnight. lows in the upper 50s. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Saturday, mostly sunny.
Let me grab the time-lapse camera. Because in about 6 seconds, it's going to be absolutely dumping rain, I think. Looks like the rain is still a little ways off, but... We'll go a little bit east. Hold on, there's some birds like caught up in the... Hang on a second. Opportunity to be an interesting video here. Stupid gnat. Alright, let's go east, and then we'll drop south.
You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio WNG 71 from the National Weather Service Office in Amarillo, Texas. This station operates on a frequency of 162.50 megahertz. WNG 71 will broadcast 24 hours a day with regional weather conditions and public forecasts. Special statements, warnings, and short-term forecasts are also broadcast as conditions warn. Weather, regular forecast,
Not bad. Up ahead, we got a farm road that goes south. Get a little east. Oh shit, I am dropping south right now. What the hell? I thought I was going east. Well, that's okay. We'll just go south of the interstate. That's fine. Whatever. It doesn't really matter because there's another storm to the south of this one. I didn't realize that. I thought we were going east. Whoops, that's my bad, I guess. Maybe if I would have paid attention to what I was doing here. It's a video clip. I don't know. Not terrible though. I mean, I'm so far so good. I'm pleased with this. Not terrible. I tell you what, you know, if this doesn't convince you that sometimes it's just better to take these trash, I mean, I shouldn't call them trash, but on paper they look like trash days. Take these trash days over the high risk days. I don't know what is. Because this is better than some of the stuff we've seen on high-risk days. Period. You know what I'm saying? So... spin you to the back off to the, I guess this is back to off to the west. See that other storm right in the middle there? Another lowering there. That, I think that's the main storm that's kind of coming off of I-40. That might be our next target. We'll let this other one go. It's pretty, but we had our time with it. It can go be free. It's free. It can go do whatever it wants to do. Got this new one here. That's got a nice looking little lowering on it though, right in the middle there. No, a lot of people won't do this. I mean, shit, guys, we've been out here doing stuff like this for years. Basically, there's two reasons that people aren't out for this. You know, some people, like some folks that are hobbyists or whatever, it just might not make sense for them financially to be out for something like this, which I get it. You know, if I was going to pick certain times a year to chase, it probably wouldn't be this one.
There's like a cone lowering over there, so not very far down, but something to watch.
Or sometimes you get the people that are just in this for the views and being on camera and being in the spotlight of shit. Those people don't come out for stuff like this. We might flip around and stop there. That wasn't a bad view.
Yeah, we've got it.
There's not a lot of people out here that enjoy this. I do. I think it's great. I'm driving away while a cone is literally lowering. That's not a cone, dude. That's literally a cloud. I'm not driving away. The storm is moving east. This is a north-south road. What do you want me to do? Drive through the barbed wire fence? Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but you see that right there? In fact, I'm going to go out and demonstrate for you why that doesn't work. So you're upset because I'm driving away from the storm. Okay, first of all, that's not a cone. That's a cloud, all right? This right here, you see this horizontal object. It's made out of steel. The posts are red, and these are 6-foot T-posts. They go about... Now, these are probably 5-foot T-posts. They go about a foot in the ground, depending on who put it up. And then you've got this barbed wire fence. And you see, this is called barbed wire because it's got ends on it that are sharp. They're like barbs. And it's also called wire because it's a string of them, right? You follow me? And it's a fence, which means it goes from all the way down there somewhere, all the way down to there somewhere. It's a fence, right? Which is typically a perimeter of something. So that prevents people and animals from crossing it. So I can't drive toward the storm because there's a fence in the way made out of barbed wire. So I hope that clears that up. I really hope that. I hope that kind of dumbs it down for you. I hope it makes sense now why we're not driving toward it. Because again, that storm is due west of us, and this is a north-south road. And to go west, we would have to drive through a barbed wire fence. I really hope that makes it a little easier for you. I had way too much fun with that. But I hope it makes sense anyway. It is not an electric fence. That is just a barbed wire fence. We can talk about electric fences later. I tell you what, the next electric fence that I come across, we'll talk about it. I know it's a hot topic. Not a bad looking storm though. Panorama here. Frogs. Ooh, that's gonna look good. Let's see how it looks. Does it look good? Yeah, not bad. Do it on a cropped lens here. Yeah, I'm not really impressed with this, but it's nice to look at. It's nice to look at. But I would like to point out that whoever put up this fence did a good job. This is really, really tight. This is pulled real tight. Somebody, seriously, like this is actually a really nice fence. Somebody did a good job with that fence. In all seriousness and all my sarcasm aside, that's a really nice fence. They did a good job with that. We'll keep watching for a minute.
Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Be aware of your surroundings and do not drive on flooded roads. The 4 p.m. area weather roundup. The report from Tampa was not available. Elsewhere in the Panhandles, Amarillo, mostly sunny. 74 degrees. At Borger, partly sunny. 67.
I think that if we get a good spot, we should get them out for pictures up here. I think that there's some good structure going on right now.
Sunny.
Yep, I'm liking the structure myself. Yeah, if we get a clearing or anywhere you want, we're down.
Degrees. Dowell Hart, mostly sunny. 70 degrees. Dumas, mostly sunny.
Roads just like up here. We're gonna kind of go slow once we get to the top of the hill. I'd also like to do a group photo really fast, so we'll do that super quick, and then we'll cut everybody free to do their own thing.
Perry Tiff. 70 degrees.
Okay, let's flip around and go back.
Partly sunny. 77 degrees. Lubbock, mostly sunny. 79 degrees.
Gut bomb, 11. That's insane.
83 degrees.
That is a funky looking gut bomb.
69 degrees. Elk City, partly sunny. 78 degrees. Oklahoma City, cloudy. Temperature 75 degrees. Tucumcari, partly sunny. Degrees. Albuquerque, mostly sunny. 78 degrees.
God, that's pretty.
City,
We got really lucky with this today, for what it is.
4 degrees. Denver, cloudy. 63 degrees. The current time is 5:02.
Wasn't a whole lot of potential today, but there might even be some storms down by Plainview tomorrow, so I'm going to hang around the area.
Central meets in West Texas. Here are the 4:55 p.m. Central Daylight Time West Texas.
So I appreciate you guys watching. It really helps us out on days like this.
Winds at 9 miles an hour. 24-hour precipitation 0.44 of an inch. At Canadian, 78. Wind.
I think I'm just gonna pull us over right here, guys. Visibility from the front and the back, so we'll make sure that we give the back good visibility here. Go just up beyond this bush here.
24 hours.
Just beyond the bush.
There might be another road up here.
Yeah, I'd also like to point out that there's another barbed wire fence on the other side of the road. As well, not to be confused with this barbed wire fence. I don't think this is going. No idea who that is. I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? It's really, this whole thing kind of looks like turd. It's really crapping its pants. I mean, by the standards of today, though, I mean, you sure as heck can't complain about it. Probably south.
Wind west southwest at 10. 24-hour precipitation 2,500. 60 million estimate. Wind east southeast at 7. 24-hour precipitation 7/10. Turning now to notable zone rainfall accumulations in the past 24 hours. Orla 20 west 1.97 inches. Panhandle 1.93. Comfort 1.65. McGregor 1.54. Goodland 1.45. Here is the 7-day forecast for Tampa and surrounding areas. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Lows are mid-50s. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Coming east. Chance of rain 20%. Thursday, partly cloudy. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. Highs in the lower 80s. North winds around 5 miles per hour. Chance of rain
Yeah, thanks for showing up today, folks.
Thursday night.
Makes it a lot easier to do this. Like, it's not all about money. I don't want anybody to think it's all about money. But tell you what, it makes it a hell of a lot easier to be out here for these kind of low-risk days when you've got folks watching. So it makes it easier. I appreciate it. I don't know what there's going to be tomorrow, if anything. There might be something between Amarillo and Lubbock that we can kind of on the order of today, I think, where you get kind of these pop-up showers. They're not that great, but they're a little pretty. That's probably what we'll get. So Wednesday we got that marginal risk, or I'm sorry, Friday we got that marginal risk. Maybe even by like Clovis. So I think we have actually got a couple of good chase days coming up here. We might have a couple of good chase days. But appreciate everyone watching. Remember, folks, if you are new here, we've got a couple of links pinned in the chat. For links, our GoFundMe, information about Project Weather Eye and the Rise 26 mission, which as soon as we get a legitimate storm, we'll launch another freaking weather balloon. But Jesus, like, we haven't. I need more than this, man, you know, so. But Friday, we'll probably do operations for Rise 26 on Friday, I think. I have a feeling that'll end up going slight risk. You probably will, so. But then it looks like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we get a little bit more active pattern, eastern Colorado, western Nebraska, western Kansas. So cross your fingers that we get something a little more active out there. So I know a lot of people are saying that May is dead and June is dead, but I mean, realistically, yeah, it's slow out here, but what's the difference right now if this was an enhanced risk or not? Like, absolutely nothing. We'd still be on the same storm with the same pictures, with the same video. it's this, to me, it's the same thing. You know, marginal risk or not. So we're doing pretty good. Just about back down to I-40 here. Got lucky, the hotel prices up here aren't too bad tonight either. $120 after tax. Amarillo is almost always
Take
a little.
your next right onto I-40 SRV Road.
Amarillo is always a little bit high, but I got lucky. 111 after tax. That's not bad. We need west.
Turn right. West ramp on the left.
Yeah, I actually have better luck on kind of lower risk days like this too. I actually almost prefer days like this. Like, if you want to look at this from a truly financial and business decision aspect, which obviously you can't make everything a business decision out here, or that takes everything away from it.
I-40 West ramp on the left.
Okay, you can stop talking now. But if you look at it from like a financial and a business perspective, this is the same amount of viewers, the same amount of probably revenue, I assume, as a higher risk day. And we only used 1 tank of gas, like 4 hours of live streaming, if even. And you get to be to a hotel by 7 or 8 o'clock at night. You really, like, it almost doesn't make any sense not to be out for these. You know, like, now obviously, like, I know a lot of people that like have to take off work, it's their hobby, whatever. They think differently because they want to be out for the days where they're more likely to get severe weather, which makes perfect sense. But there's a lot of people that do this as, well, they claim they do it as like a job. But these are the days, like, if you're going to do that, like, these are honestly the days you got to be out for. Because it's lower cost to do it. And honestly, the experience is better. Like, I actually enjoy this better than a higher risk day. Hang on here, stand by for signal. It's going to get a little bit crappy for a minute because of this heavy downpour, but we'll be out of it in a minute. But no, seriously, from like just what I enjoy and what I don't standpoint, I actually enjoy days like this better. So that's cool. I'm going to sneak past this semi-truck because he's making so much spray here. Oh yeah, I can already see way better now. I just got to get past the spray off of his tires, but he's left of center right now. Way left of center. There we go. Like, I can see, just not behind him. There we go. See? Like, look how much better we can see. Oh, fuck. Damn it. Ugh, fucker. Go away. Find your own road. He was, see, like, look how much better it is now. That's why I wanted to get past him. Man, there's a lot of water on the road, though. These Texas roads just don't drain. They really don't. Just do not drain. But no, like, this is, to me, this is one of the better days we've had in the past couple of weeks. Well, a couple of days, anyway. Did I just blow a tire? Or is the rain doing that? I wonder if I just blew a tire. What the fuck? Maybe it's just that much water on the... Hold on here. No, I got... No, there is just an obscene amount of water on the road. And the road's all washboarded. No, there's not really much of a road crown. No, like in general, Texas roads are always bad. Texas roads are weird. Like, they're all weirdly washboarded. They're all weird. But like they just really retain water. Like hydroplaning is a serious thing out here. I don't know what it is, but they just really retain water, and every time you get a little sprinkle, it's a mess. Like I thought I blew a tire that it was dragging me so hard the one way, but it's just because there's so much water pooling in like the wheel tracks. Yeah, the drainage is a serious problem out here, especially out in the middle of nowhere. Like the roads, like you'll see signs everywhere, you know, road floods next 23 miles or something. Like everything floods out here. I think everybody's just accepted it. They're all just used to it at this point. See if I can get you a better view up top here. Hang on a second. Doesn't help that we're in this like construction. We might have a really pretty shot at the back side of this. Sometimes the back of these storms is really nice looking. Especially if you get them around sunset, but it's just too early for that. God dang, another freaking hole in the road. Come on, Texas. See, everything's bigger in Texas, so are the potholes. I tell you. Texas is a different... Look at how close these guys are following each other. Good Lord, that's going to be a wreck. But Texas is a whole different animal when it comes to, like, infrastructure. It's very weird. I like Texas, though. Yeah, Colorado. I tell you what, though, I have better luck on the secondary roads in Colorado than I do any other state. I like Colorado most of the time. Colorado is like two different, well, it's kind of like three different states in one, though. I mean, you got mountainous Colorado, you've got western Colorado, and then you got eastern Colorado. And then you got Denver. Or, I'm sorry, Pueblo. Like, you can put Pueblo in its own state. That place scares the hell out of me. Do not like Pueblo. I like to not get shot or have my car broken into, so I stay away from Pueblo. Today's a good day for the storm chasing tours, though, because I feel bad for some of these guys giving tours. I mean, man, what a difficult year it's been. Like, I'm sure it's got to be tough to explain to guests why you've spent $4,000 and we're not seeing shit. But, I mean, I think you kind of have to expect that it's a little bit of a gamble. You know? It's not their fault. Oh, dude, don't even get me started on Louisiana. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Especially I-20 in Louisiana. It's really going downhill. Bad. Like, it's, as long as I can remember, I-20 in Louisiana has never been good. But man, it is getting way worse. Like just over the past like 2 years, I feel like it's gotten way worse. Especially around Shreveport there, it's way worse. So yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because you're right. I do like Texas though. It's probably my favorite state. It's just a different, it's a different animal. Texas is a little more independent, do their own thing. Nothing wrong with that. I tell you what though, the storm chasing tours are worth it though if you don't know what you're doing. Because all you got to do is ride along. You don't have to stress out about figuring out where to go because they do a good job. I mean, well, the good ones do a good job. The only ones that I can recommend, honestly, are Brandon Ivy's and then Roger Hill's. Those are the only two that I'll recommend right now. Those are the only two that I feel like really care about the people that are with them, and they put them in good hotels, not just the cheapest Super 8. They do a nice job. Not bad looking. Well, that was an easy day. We'll stay live for a little bit because once we get a little bit farther away from these storms, they might be really pretty looking. A lot of new people here though, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. That's the last I'll say about it. I hate when people just are like, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. It's really annoying. So I try not to do that. Today was about 20 times better than yesterday, and we didn't have to drive to Mexico. So that is a win. Yeah, Missouri's got bad roads too. Everybody always says that their state has the worst roads, but I tell you what, I'll give you Missouri. I'll give you Missouri. Their roads aren't very good either. Yeah, I wish this was happening a little bit later, because around sunset this would probably be really nice looking. Take a look at our options here. See what we got. I actually do think we might be able to chase something. I don't know what, but something tomorrow, maybe down there by Lubbock. Maybe. By the looks of it. Friday looks more promising. See, I got all my days screwed up because it doesn't seem like today should be Wednesday. Because last week we were just talking about Friday. And then now we're just talking about Friday again. And it's already Wednesday. Like, holy smokes. What's going on here? It feels like the whole week went away. Well, a couple of things. The super chat counter's broken still. My chat's broken still. None of these are my fault. It's all YouTube's fault. So anybody from Google's watching, if you could like fix that stuff, that'd be great. Because it ain't just me. I was watching Daniel's live stream the other night. His super chat counter was broken. It's not just me. And my chat, that's the side of the freaking road. My chat is stuck on fan funding only, and it won't let me go back to all messages anymore. So I don't see. God dang it. What the hell, man? Come on, YouTube. You're a freaking bajillion-dollar company and you can't even figure out a chat. I'm not going to the Big Texan tonight. Gross. To be fair though, the quesadilla was pretty good last year, but they literally have a trash can for people to puke into. Like, it's a community trash can. Like, oh, if you're fat and ate too much, you can go barf in this trash can. Like, do you know how disgusting that is? Like, I can't do that. I can't. No, not with somebody like puking in a trash can. Like, gross. Like, it's a communal trash can. Like, for Christ's sakes, man. Like, that place is, like, I like that place. It's cool. But I really wish they would drop the novelty of just being an obscene fat ass while you're there. Like, they almost encourage you to eat so much that you vomit, and it's absolutely disgusting. Like, that is so gross. Like, I can only imagine what the chat says right now, but, like, I'm sure everybody agrees with me. It's pretty gross. The food's great, but, like, they want you to, like, be so obscenely obese that you just vomit your food. Like, it's gross. It's, I don't know. I think, I've been told if you go around, like, lunchtime, it's a little less gimmicky like that. Hold on, is that car wrecked? Hang on a minute. No, they're just... No, he's doing something. Picking his nose or something. I don't know what he's doing. We're not going to go to the bussies. I'm sure Zach's about to pitch a fit. Oh my God, you're not stopping at the bussies. I'm actually not a huge fan of Amarillo. It's a little expensive and a little bit run down. I actually prefer Lubbock, but you got to be careful where you stay. You don't want to stay downtown Amarillo, even at the nice hotels, because there's a lot of tweakers.
Thanks, man.
There are some cool places out in the Texas Panhandle to stop. There's that place up in Canadian Texas, Cattle Exchange or something like that. It's a little bit expensive, but it's almost like a Chili's, but it's not Chili's. It's like some local person owns it. It's like a Chili's, but a little bit nicer. It is a little pricey, but it's not like any more than a Texas Roadhouse or something. There's this place down in Kitty Cay. I forgot what it's called, but I remember it. The food was good, and they gave me lunch for free. So the story is, I was parked at the Allsups across the street from this place, and one of the local cops pulls up in a beat up like 2006 Chevy Silverado with like almost mailbox lettering on the side of it that says sheriff. Like damn near was almost mailbox lettering. I'm like, what the hell is this? And he stopped, and he was like, hey, whatever you do when you go into this gas station, do not tell whatever her name was at the counter. Do not tell her that there's a storm coming. She has horrible storm anxiety, and she will probably have to call the ambulance. And I was like, you're kidding. He's like, no, I'm dead serious. Well, fast forward. Somebody goes into the gas station and says there's storm chasers out there. She literally had an anxiety attack, and I thought they were going to have to call the ambulance because this cop was still there. And somebody came running out, like freaking out, like, oh my God, help. She's panicking. She blew an absolute gasket because there were storm chasers in the parking lot. It was a blue sky day. I felt so bad. And he looked at me and he goes, I told you, I wasn't kidding. And I'm like, yeah, you sure as hell weren't. And she was absolutely having a hell of an anxiety attack. Like, he had to go in there and calm her down. It was a thing. But the lady from the place next door, I guess, somehow got roped into this. And she's like, oh, I'll give you dinner for your trouble. Like, and I'm like, well, I didn't do anything. Like, I didn't have any trouble. And she's like, I'll just give you lunch. I'm like, okay. So she made a grilled cheese and she put bacon on it. And I was pretty happy with it. But that place was really nice. And I saw the menu, and like the most expensive thing on the menu was like $12. Like, you can't beat that crap. So that place, somebody can figure it out. It's the little place right across from the Allsups in Kitty Cay. But I'm sure somebody knows what I'm talking about. But I like the Texas Panhandle. There's interesting people out here, in a good way, mostly. Except for the downtown Lubbock tweaker, or downtown Lubbock and downtown Amarillo tweakers. You just got to avoid the tweakers. These people in this black car. Man, they're a long ways from home. This guy's from Indiana. Wonder where they're going. It's probably what people say about me when I drive by. Oh, it's a long way. Pretty sky out here, though, I tell you what. But anyway, so I guess a summary. Tomorrow, I don't know. HRRR model isn't very hot, but the 3 kilometer NAM model does definitely show something maybe down around Plainview, which is about halfway between Amarillo and Lubbock. Like I said, HRRR doesn't really show it very much, but the 3 kilometer NAM does. And I typically like the 3 kilometer NAM better than the HRRR out here because the HRRR has a dry bias, meaning that the dew points are usually a degree or two drier than they actually end up being, so it doesn't have a tendency to convect. The NAM doesn't really have that so much in the high terrain. So we might have something. There's no SPC risk out here tomorrow, but we could have something. And then when Thursday, or Jesus Christ, Friday in Clovis, Roswell, Lubbock, somewhere around there, we'll probably get something. Saturday we'll probably be in East Colorado. So we got options. We got stuff to do. And here's the leaning water tower of death. Hang on. Oh yeah, bussies. Yeah, I'll pass. Hang on. It's coming into frame. There it is. That is intentionally that way. It's supposed to be that way. I promise. It didn't just... somebody put it... There's some guy that put it there. The guy that... I think it's the guy that owns the little muffler shop. Right there, that's a muffler shop. Or at least it used to be. Maybe it's a truck shop now. I don't know. But it used to be a muffler shop. But I think he owns that. I'm pretty sure. So this is the leaning water tower of Groom, Texas. Yeah, auto and diesel service. That used to be a muffler shop at one point. I'm fairly certain. So there's no story behind that water tower other than they just wanted to do it. Like there's nothing special. Oh, that truck service. I don't even think that's a service anymore. It literally looks abandoned now. God dang. Okay. I think that might be abandoned. There used to be activity there. You'd see people there every now and then when I'd drive by. But I-40 through the Panhandle's a really nice drive. It's pretty much wide open. You get bottlenecked a little bit going through Amarillo, but I like it out here. It's a good place to be. A lot of windmills out here. I'm just kind of noticing that. I mean, they've always been here for as long as I can remember, but my God, there's a lot of them. This was a good day, though. I'm happy for this. Like I said, you don't find a lot of people out on days like this. And, you know, a lot of people, you can't blame them. I mean, if I was going to take off of work, if I had to pick certain time to take off of work, I wouldn't take off of work for something like this. So these people that make it their hobby or their pastime, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want any of those guys that might be watching to think that I mean anything ill about them. But there's also a lot of people that do this now because of the social media attention that storm chasing has gotten, that are just out here to drive around and kind of be goofballs and stuff. Putting it nicely, I guess. And days like this don't appeal to them. But you'll find a lot of people that really do enjoy what they do out here on days like today. Like, we didn't see Daniel out here. He's getting his car fixed. His air conditioner went out again. Otherwise, we would have seen Daniel out today. But I don't think I saw well, no, that's not true. I saw David Baxter out. So I did see one other storm chaser, and then obviously the tour groups. But that was it. I didn't see anybody else. God, I can't believe that it's basically June already. I guess it's a good thing that the year is going by fast, because it's been a little bit of a cruddy year. Next year will be much better. You know, that's the good thing. You have a year like this where not a whole lot's happening. It's not super interesting. It sets the bar. It sets the bar nice and low, so that the next year is almost guaranteed to be better just by default. You know, you set the bar really, really low, and it's not that hard to exceed it. So it'll be real easy to make next year a better year. But you never know. We could 100%. 180 this. Maybe it'll be the busiest end, June through December that we've ever seen. You never know. It might be. Hoping for some New Mexico days this week. Maybe Friday. Because we're about to get into that time of the season where we're not down here that much. We're a little bit farther north. We'll do more Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado. We'll still be down here, but not as frequently. So we're about to kind of fly right on by New Mexico season here. I do feel a little bit bad for people that booked their storm chasing vacations or whatever. Days like, for years like this. I mean, because you get a lot of people from out west and out east that drive out here, and they only pick like 2 or 3 weeks of the year to come out here. And man, if I only had 2 or 3 weeks out of the whole year to do this, I'd be pretty damn upset, because we haven't had a good 2 or 3 week stretch. We've had some good days here and there, but there hasn't been a notable period. I mean, you get days like this that are enjoyable, but just not. Not sure if it's something that I would have taken 3 weeks off of work and then drove 16 hours for. Really weird. It's the first year I remember like this, but we're getting real lucky, because if it weren't for today's like today, it'd be rough out here. But today was good. We needed that, even though there wasn't really anything noteworthy.
over here on the right where the legend is, you see.
That's cool. Why are we playing an ad when I'm trying to... Literally just trying to get Google Maps to go. There we go. Probably going to be a nice evening now these storms move through. I like days like this where you kind of wrap up a little bit early. This is Conway. This is not far from where we got on the interstate. So we're kind of right back to where we started almost. Sort of. Oh boy, bussies, 27 miles. Wow. Great. Yeah, we'll pass on bussies. It's been so long since I've driven through here that I forgot there was that Love's over there on the right. Seriously. I haven't driven from Oklahoma to Amarillo, or I haven't driven I-40 across the Panhandle for a while. This might actually be the first time this year. Like, we've been on I-40, but every time that I've come out here, I haven't come across on I-40. It's been from the north or coming through Pampa or whatever. Like, it's been a while, and I kind of forgot that there was that Love's right there. That guy's got his gas cap open. Girl, that's totally a lady. Sorry. Starting to warm back up. Originally, yesterday, it looked more like today we'd be down closer to like Lubbock, but I'm glad I came up here. Nothing happened further south. It was all up here by Amarillo. Wouldn't you have to do at least 6 radio songs per day to make a minimal dent in the weather market? You guys are barely doing 6 a month. Well, first of all, that's not true. No. I don't know what the point of 6 observed soundings a day would be. I mean, that's... I guess I don't even know how to, like, logically explain that without making it so overly complicated nobody understands it. You know? Observed data is very important, but just I'm not quite sure the pushback on this or why we're even having it. So just a reminder that the reason that we haven't been able to do a whole lot this month is because we haven't had much for storms. We are an atmospheric research mission. To research the atmosphere, we need something happening in the atmosphere. Okay, this is a 365-day mission. We were trying to focus it in May because it was just easier to get everybody out, but we've proven that we clearly need to be focusing it on June because June already looks about 3,000 times better. So, like right now, for me to pull over and just launch a weather balloon, that does absolutely nothing. There's 2 launch times per day that are typically followed. There's a cadence of typically, well, it's technically 4. 6Z, 12Z, 18Z, 0Z. The 6Z doesn't really get launched much. I think there's 3 offices that launch a 6Z. Green Bay, Wisconsin. I think Amarillo does. And there might be one out west. most of the Weather Service offices and people that are participating in getting data to NCEP, which is the national center that basically does all the modeling and data collection, typically 12Z and 0Z, but some of the sites and offices have been changed to 18Z, which is afternoon for severe weather season, because they believe that it's more valuable to have that sounding in the afternoon, which is closer to the time of storms, which makes sense. Damn it. They don't have it in the budget to do that third balloon, so they've decided to move the morning balloon to the afternoon, which makes sense. Our weather models are only running every hour, 3 hours, 6 hours, whatever, on a resolution of mostly 3 kilometers, where one grid square, 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers, is treated as the same thing. So to just pull over on the side of the road and like launch a weather balloon every 6 miles isn't going to tell us anything, because we're below the model resolution anyway. But there's more to it than that, right? Like, let's look at today. What would we have learned from today? Absolutely nothing. There's really nothing today that we would have learned. We didn't have a unique setup. We didn't have anything. We just had a regular old shower and thunderstorm day. There's also really no question about today. We knew there were going to be showers and thunderstorms. We didn't really need any additional data to know that. When we're talking about severe weather environments and training our model algorithm to better predict tornadoes, there's a couple of different scenarios in which we're going to launch a weather balloon with an observed sounding, right? There's going to be in front of a supercell, where we can actually get the radio sonde to go up into the supercell, and we're going to sample that supercell. That's one reason. Out ahead of the supercell, so we know the environment that it's getting into, maybe 15 to 30 miles out ahead of it. Immediately after the supercell goes by, so we can see the immediate changes that the supercell has had in the atmosphere. Stand by for signal. And of course, just a routine sounding in the morning. When we're expecting severe weather, getting a sounding to go up sometime before 1 p.m. really helps us out. Now, if we look back at the month of May, when have we had any severe, and this is a question, when have we had any notable severe weather where we actually had a classic severe weather setup, where you can say, you know what, classic severe weather setup, which is typically in May, is almost everything, but we've had maybe 1 or 2. It's been a slow month for severe weather. So to say that we barely launched 6 a month is not true. I mean, we're probably over $15,000 in supplies ate up already, right? But we can't, it makes no sense to just start pulling over on the side of the road and start dumping weather balloons out the back of the car. That won't do anything for anybody whatsoever. There's a purpose and an intent for this, and I think that might be getting glazed over sometimes. There's a purpose and an intent behind what we do. Just because we are YouTubers and content creators does not mean that we do not know what we're doing. Not that anybody has said that, but they also have said that. And the calibration that we're doing on our model algorithms are paying off, because that's the radio sonde that we launched into that supercell in Oklahoma. I think it was May 9th. You can go back and look at some of the data. It was a Facebook post the other day. We were actually able to calibrate the model algorithm just a little bit. We actually found an error in one of the algorithms, because this model that we're building actually looks at data that's being sent in or immediately around supercells and tries to use that to better predict tornado potential for that storm. Well, one of the assumptions that we made in the model algorithm, when I say we, I mean I'm the one that screwed it up. One of the assumptions that I made in one of the model algorithms for basically updraft ascent speed was not enough, by having that data direct to basically high resolution radar data with volumetric slices, like 6 or 7 slices through that storm, plus our balloon data. We were able to line that all up, and with the observational data of us being there and videotaping the whole thing, we're able to really fine-tune that algorithm, because there were some changes that we made where I didn't think that the depth the vertical depth of that updraft was going to be as inconsistent as it was. I thought, and in fact, there's actually a model bias out there where a lot of models do. Like, you look at these short fuse, short range, small domain models like this, that updraft velocity does matter, especially for hail size, because our model is also training for hail size too. But the model smooths it over quite a bit. It's too low resolution. It's basically assuming too much of a stable updraft speed, but we're finding that it's very chaotic because we went from 45 miles per hour of vertical ascent, so 45 miles per hour of updraft speed. That's taking the ascent speed from the balloon out of it, like a net updraft speed of 45 miles an hour, down to about 9 miles per hour, where we almost had negative buoyancy, where it's almost like it was pushing the balloon down almost, because you have these pockets of turbulence in there, obviously. But where the really interesting thing came from was when the balloon popped and the radiosonde is falling, the updraft was so strong. Keep in mind the radiosonde weighs about 120 milligrams, or 120 grams. But the updraft was so strong that it was actually pulling that radiosonde up almost as if it was a hailstone. And it was trying to suspend it. There were certain points in that updraft where it was suspending that radiosonde. And if you look at the volumetric slices in the radar, the velocity data, not the storm relative, just the regular velocity, and you look at like a 3D volumetric of it, you can actually see where this kind of coincides with the radar. So it's not just like it was anomalous, this was an actual effect on it. And it doesn't really tell us a lot because that's one storm, out of millions of storms that are out there every year. But the important part of it is it's almost like a proof of concept, right? It's proof that we can look at and cite our source when we say that we have to increase the vertical resolution, or the volumetric vertical slicing resolution of our model, because we can't interpolate these updraft speeds. Because when the model ran without the weather balloon data, when it ran without the radiosonde data, it was giving garbage data, it was noisy, and it was actually giving a below gate indicator. Means that the model flags itself when it believes that the data is below the threshold that it should be. Basically, if the model thinks that it's full of shit, it raises a little flag and it flags the data and says something's wrong with this data set. It wouldn't even actually run the data correctly. When you run it with the radiosonde data, it increased its confidence level, I guess, to the point where it accurately predicted the hail size. It predicted 2 to 2.25 inch hail. Lots of storm chasers reported 2 to 2.5 inch hail. That's a win. It indicated a 40% chance of tornado, but then as soon as we got the descent with the radiosonde and we got more data back through it, it dropped it down to a 20-something%. So that's a win. Sorry, I should say 40% prior, but then 20% after. So the radiosonde data did help us determine, or did help the model determine that that's garbage. It's not a tornado producer. And it also, the downdraft wind, because we also have a score for downdraft and downburst, like microburst type winds, it increased that, most likely attributing to the fact that it had a very strong updraft on it. So that storm was breathing very well, and it had that, you've got a lot of inflow, a lot of updraft in that storm. You can imagine on the other side of it, based on radar data, that there's also going to be a strong downdraft, and there was, because it was ingesting that level 2 NEXRAD data off of the KVNX radar site up there. It was ingesting that, and it was also determining that, yes, there's probably a very strong downdraft, so it was starting to peg higher values for strong downdrafts. It's really hard to explain this without actually showing it to you, and one of these days I will show it to you once we get a little more confidence in it. It's pretty abstract, but you don't understand the purpose of this. I guess I can't really explain it anymore. I apologize. I think the purpose is pretty obvious what we're doing here. We are doing a large-scale mission to collect data. When there is a thunderstorm that we can collect data on, we deploy probes, vehicles, weather balloons, whatever on that storm. It's very cut and dry what we do. Very cut and dry, because we have a large group of people out here. Sample the larger mesoscale and sometimes synoptic scale environment. When there's a storm that can be converged on, sample the storm scale environment. It's very cut and dry. I promise you that. Maybe you're overthinking it, but there is a very purposeful part of this mission, and it's proving its worth in dividends here, because the model that's being trained on this system is increasing its accuracy on hits. We're probably 20 times more than it was without any of this data, because even the noisy surface data from the moving vehicles is giving this a higher confidence at predicting hail size, wind, tornado. Just having that extra data from the vehicles out ahead of these tornadoes, storms, whatever, is proving to be extremely worthwhile, because we have to be careful with the vehicle data because it's noisy. It's going to be a little bit noisy, especially the pressure, because you're going to have pressure perturbations showing up, because we have very sensitive pressure sensors here, and sometimes going under an overpass, you're going to get that little bit of a drop in pressure. So it has to be smooth. You have high resolution data with high resolution smoothing, and then of course a gate filter throwing out things that are anomalies. And but we're still finding that having these additional surface readings in areas where there's not a populated mesonet network, like these holes where there's just no surface observation that the model can use for miles, having a good surface observation on a small domain where your resolution is under 1 kilometer is really paying off. Because if you guys think about it, we're running a model with about a 1/2 kilometer resolution. So we're taking that 3 kilometer grid square, putting it down to 1/2 kilometer. And for each one of those 1/2 kilometer squares, if you can put a surface observation in as many of them as possible, you're now increasing the confidence of that model, because now it's not just guessing what the temperature and the dew point is there by interpolating it from mesoanalysis or nearby mesonet whatever or METARs. You're actually giving it concrete data, but you're also giving it a margin for error. You're telling it that yes, well, that we are getting a mobile reading of 78 degrees, there may be a 2-degree error correction in there. So it also has to have logic that cleans itself, which was one of the biggest challenges we've come across that I think I've got fine-tuned now. But it has to have logic where it basically is pitching data that it doesn't believe is true. So it's kind of a catch-22. The model has to be given explicit boundaries and explicit, like a pathway for it to go, right? Because it can't just start hallucinating trash. But it also has to be able to free think on its own, if that makes sense. It has to make its own decisions on what's crap and what isn't, and that's a challenge for somebody like us, because where do you draw the line between a hard set rule where there's a brick wall and you cannot cross it, and an actual guideline where it's like, well, cross this, you can go around this wall when you need to, but only sometimes. So there's a lot that goes into this, and it's expensive because we're running this on GPU powered machines. There's a very extensive mission going on right now that checks many boxes, whether it's providing data for other forecasters to use or providing data for us to use. You know, I think one of the big things that gets missed here is we're the boss. We're going to do whatever we want. We're not stuck on the government's time. We're not stuck on a university's time. If we need to adapt the mission, if we're in the middle of nowhere and there's about to be a tornado outbreak and everybody's like, oh my God, I wish we had a sounding out here. Well, we can do that. We don't have to just stay within the constraints of what we're doing. We can say, you know what, I got you. Here's a sounding. And I've received a lot of pushback, especially from Andy Hill, which is very interesting, because you would think Ryan Hall's meteorologist would be supportive of this, but oh no. But I receive a lot of pushback from people in the scientific community because they don't believe that a bunch of YouTubers should be allowed to do this, because there's no, what I've been told by two of them is that I never asked for these guys' opinions, by the way, but what I've been told by two of these folks is that there's no calibration standard for what we're doing, and that's absolutely false. We are launching the same equipment that the National Weather Service launches. That is the calibration standard. The calibration standard is we don't make the equipment. The Weather Service uses the equipment. So if you're going to discredit what we do and what we use, then you're also discrediting the National Weather Service's observations. So that's one of the things that get pushback from. But the other thing is people are upset because I didn't spend 7 years in college. And I would argue that we're doing more operational meteorology than most of these people that have spent 7 years in college. Because I've been working 19-hour days for the past 8 months to basically develop an HRRR replacement that runs on a small domain that actually uses our data and accepts erroneous data. Because again, our data out here is going to have error and noise. Just from driving around and the probes being deployed, because sometimes you could have one of our field staff deploy a probe, but it might be deployed in the grass. Humidity might be a little higher. You've got dew on the grass, water on the grass. It's going to read a higher humidity because you've got that evaporation taking place under it. They might deploy it in a gravel lot where there's going to be more solar radiation bouncing off of that, and you get a heat island effect. So we have to be able to accept and use data that's noisy and kind of crappy, and that's a challenge with what we do. I'm just going to pull in here, and that's a challenge with what we do because we have to do it. And that's where we kind of, oh my god, there's geese, and that's where we set ourselves apart from a lot of missions out there, because we're able to set our own rules and set our own paces and then say this is why we did it and this is how we did it and this is why it's still accurate. We've been able to fund all this through crowdfunding, is what I should mention too. Is this has all been crowdfunded. We haven't received a dime from federal grants or anything. I'm actually working on a grant. I think we've actually got a grant for lightning equipment for next year. I think we did get that, because one of the things that we're lacking, folks, is lightning equipment. Our small domain model requires as high a resolution lightning data as possible. And right now we use the GLM satellite, which is good and accurate, but it misses things. So when we can deploy a portable high-resolution lightning array when we are operating out here, we are now able to increase what our model is finding, and of course the data from that enormously, because we are really relying on these lightning jump events where it's not necessarily the uptick in lightning activity that's back up. What a lot of folks are finding is that typically prior to a tornado, not always, but typically, there is a sharp uptick in lightning activity. Other researchers have found that it's not necessarily that uptick in lightning activity that signals a possible tornado. It is the drop in the lightning activity immediately after it. It's been found and publicized that you can get these lightning barrages with no tornado after them, but the difference is that they're continuing. When you have a lightning barrage with an immediate drop to almost zero, nearly zero, after a sharp uptick in, X% of lightning down to almost nothing. If you've got like a 500% increase in lightning over baseline and then a drop below baseline, that's typically when your tornado occurs. Let me see. I'm going to try to draw this. Okay? Hang on. Hold on. So here's baseline, right? That's baseline. So above that red line is your increase in lightning activity. So if the red horizontal line is your baseline, that's your average. Right? So that's your average lightning activity. Above it, with the up arrow, that's above average. The down arrow below it, that's your below average. So let me draw a data line here using blue. So here's our data line, okay? So if we are right here on baseline, and then you get a huge spike in lightning activity, and then it falls really sharply below baseline, there's still lightning. Right here at the X, there's still lightning. It's just below baseline, it's below average. That's typically when we start to signal and prepare for a tornado based on lightning, and that's one of the factors here. Now, you can also have an event like this, where you have baseline lightning and then a huge jump in lightning, but then it kind of gradually comes back down to baseline, but you never have a tornado. It's being found that typically you get a pattern like this, baseline, and then you get a spike, and then you end up with below baseline, and then tornado, and then return to baseline, is being found. And we're actually confirming that as well. And if you overlay lightning activity, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at a archived radar with the lightning overlay on it, and you can see that prior to the tornado reports popping up on the map, you get that. Hold on, what happened with our day 3? Prior to those tornado reports, you typically get that lull in the lightning. And that's one of the things that our model relies upon a lot, is high resolution lightning, but we need to get higher resolution, so we have to get the equipment out in the field to really train that, because you need to train with the highest resolution possible, always. So the marginal risk now on Friday has been extended to be all of Texas Panhandle, all the way through Oklahoma. Neat. So I'm out of here. We're done for the day. This is trash. So it's not actually, I mean, I can't say with confidence, right? But the current thinking is not that the energy for the lightning is being used for wind. One of the things being, I mean, I suppose potentially, right? Because I can't draw a firm conclusion from this, but one of the current hypothesis is that it's the static discharge, because actually, you know what, we're going to save that for another day, because I need to draw you guys a picture. But there's papers written on this back in 2007 and 2008 that explain it a lot. But this is a very polarizing topic, because there's a lot of amateur meteorologists out there that claim lightning has nothing to do with tornadoes, and they still believe that the tornado comes from the cloud when it doesn't. It clearly comes from the ground. I know that that's kind of a hot topic as well, but anybody who's chased a storm is going to tell you the tornado comes from the ground. It doesn't come from the cloud. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, you've got helicity and vorticity. You've got spin on the ground, and you've got a horizontal pipe of that, and it gets, basically tilted upwards into an already rotating mesocyclone. I mean, it's pretty obvious how that works, but that's a highly debated thing. There's a lot of people that call bullshit and say that lightning has nothing to do with tornado, but there's actually consumer products that you can purchase that will tell you the type of storm that's coming, when it's coming, and tornado chances based on lightning. Lightning is a very underrated tool when it comes to predicting tornadoes and types of storms. It's actually very interesting. We're going to be able to do a lot once we get a higher resolution lightning network out here, but the problem is that's going to require at least 2 ground units and 2 extra people, but we'll get it done. Anyway, that's it. I'm out of here for the day. I'm going to go get to the hotel. I will probably be back tomorrow at this rate. Otherwise, if I'm not back tomorrow, we'll have some sort of a live stream. But I'm going to get out of here, and I appreciate everybody watching.